right, what's up, everybody? Crown
Hey,
Council. Whoa. Crown Council Live. Stuart Anderson here. Grateful to have you. Greg Anderson is with us. We are broadcasting to you from Salt Lake City. Grateful to be with everybody. Gregor, this marks almost our second year of a full live stream broadcast show every Thursday at 11 o'clock Mountain. We've been doing this for 2 years.
good grief, hard to believe.
Some incredible stories. Awesome to connect with Crown Council members across the membership and across the country, our resource partners. And hopefully today we are going to connect with Steve. He is at the Chicago Midwinter Meeting as a presenter. And there's a lot of our resource partners who are there. So hopefully he's connecting with them. So when he comes on, we'll try not to break in. But when he's live from the ballroom or whatever he does, we'll switch to him quick. So anyway, that's exciting. Something new, something different.
Hey, what about wait.
Oh, I'm nervous for this.
What about the view from my window?
Okay.
And all the snow that was on the ground this morning has melted.
Ah, the weather.
And
Very
the
important.
the weather in Salt Lake City is it's not spring, but there is hope in the air.
Very important.
You want to come to Salt Lake and ski. Mountains are getting a ton of snow, but
yeah, it's good.
At least out of my window today, I don't see any.
Hey, yeah, we've got a lot of fun stuff going on with Smiles for Life. I'm wearing my official Smiles for Life Whiten Your Smile team t-shirts.
Sweet.
So if you're participating in Smiles for Life, you have the opportunity to order team t-shirts, and a lot of the most successful practices order a t-shirt for everybody. And then they wear those t-shirts once a week on a designated day. So this is the first t-shirt order that has been shipped out. We shipped them all out yesterday, which is super awesome, via UPS. So they're on their way to you. Gregor, if a team is watching and they want to order t-shirts, are we doing another order?
Yes. So the rules here are we will accept orders until March 15th.
Okay.
And then on March 15th, we will place a bulk order with our supplier, and then we'll be done with that for the year. So if you want t-shirts, get that order in by March the 15th, and we will, they don't take long. You should have them before the end of the month.
Very good.
Yes, we will do it. I think we had enough shirts to supply everybody that ordered them, even those that came in after that first deadline.
Nice. Let's talk about Smiles for Life Whitening for just a minute. Smiles for Life Whitening, if you don't know, will begin officially on March 1st. This is an opportunity for all Crown Council members to partner with us in doing good, to partner with Ultradent, to partner with Trays, and to partner with My Social Practice, all in a huge cause to do good in your practice by donating to your own local charities, donating to our humanitarian trips, donating to our Teammates for Kids partnership. This is an awesome program that has been around almost now 30 years and has raised almost $50 million for children's charities that we hope every single practice in Crown Council participates in. And there's still time to sign up. I'm going to help you. We're going to navigate through just a few items. This is my, sorry, I'm going to go back. So this is my crowncouncil.com website. I've logged in as myself, and I've navigated to my directory. And in my directory, inside everybody's directory, you will see this 2024 Whitening Campaign Hub. And you'll click here to see all the things, right, Gregor, that a team would need to run a successful whitening charitable campaign. Maybe, Greg, do you know where to navigate for those t-shirts? Let's go there first. Campaign.
Yeah, so if you click on order whitening materials.
Okay.
And you go down there, let's do a couple of these. This is the first place that you go if you want to order whitening materials, and that's just for reference. So click on, there you go. Click on the online form.
Okay.
And scroll down a little bit. This is the place that you go first to get your whitening materials.
Okay.
The whitening materials we ship every Thursday. I mean, they ship on Monday, but we send them down to Ultradent every Thursday. If you
Very
go
good.
down to the next one, which is order campaign materials,
Okay, so 3-2.
this has the, if you scroll down a little bit, has
Mhm.
at first the cards. So the 4x6 cards, we send them for free. And they're like little 4x6 inch pass along cards that you can have in your office to give to your patients so that they go out and can give them to their friends. And then below that is the t-shirt whitening, or the t-shirt order form. And there's the note that we'll do that till the 15th of March. And if you want other supplies, we'll ship them for free. Other table tents, additional buttons, more posters. Just tell us what you want. We'll ship them to you. But
Very good.
that is campaign material central.
I'm going to just highlight one other thing. Social media posts down here on 6-3. This is an easy place to navigate to a Dropbox folder that allows you to see and download some campaign materials that you are able to use on your own social media campaign, post them to your own site, or create graphics with these. These are coming to you from My Social Practice, as well as some MP4 files, some videos for reels and stories that you can use that My Social Practice has created for Smiles for Life. So some easy marketing tools there. And then we are in partnership with My Social Practice to produce a weekly email that will come to every single office doing Smiles for Life with suggestions for marketing that week. And these are some really fun, progressive ideas that you can do week to week, whether it's making videos or contests or posts or blogs. A lot of fun stuff coming from My Social Practice. So that will be, those will be posted here, but they also come out once a week. So coming in March, this will be updated weekly. This campaign totals and then assets. So
Yeah, let's stick on that assets there for a minute, because there are two important things there. On February the 27th, which I think is a Tuesday, our friends at Perspective Marketing have arranged for a very aggressive national press release to go out about Smiles for Life. And it will hit hundreds of media outlets.
nice.
So in here, in that other campaign assets, there is a template for a local press release. If you have a relationship, or if you want to go create one with your local media, newspapers, television, this is a Word document that is made for you to be able to edit, put in your name, your totals, your contact information, save that, and get that to your local media. And
Nice.
I would suggest, if you're going to do that, that you have it in their hands before next Tuesday so that it will hit at the same time we're making all of the fuss with the national media.
Very good. Smart. Okay, so this is Campaign Central right here. If you have a charity champion, which is what we call a person in the practice who is babysitting and managing your Smiles for Life campaign, they have got to be in here. Make sure that you are looking at these things, downloading the tools, and understanding the campaign. Hopefully, we've given you all the tools here that you need to make sure you do it right. So, very good.
Yeah, and if you've got somebody running the campaign in your office that's never done it before, all the helpful hints in there about how to submit the contributions, some of the pitfalls, whatever.
Hmm.
And if you have any questions, just call us. We're all standing by.
Very good. All right, I did an interview yesterday, maybe a couple days ago, with our friends at Addit. They were going to join today, but they're at the Chicago Midwinter meeting. So, short interview with our resource partner, Addit, and explaining just a bit about what they do and how they engage with your customers and clients. We are grateful to have Addit at the annual event a couple weeks ago, and just am thankful for Josh and all he does to provide a resource to the Crown Council membership. So I'm going to share my screen. if Steve comes on, maybe I'll pause and we'll welcome him in. But here comes our interview from Addit. Let's make sure. Okay. You
You're
guys
good.
see it? Here we go. All right, welcome everybody to the live stream, although recorded segment, which that doesn't cheapen the live stream, does it, Josh? I mean, it's still
I
good.
don't know. I don't know. If anything, it makes it more.
See? And the listeners don't know if we've edited this or applied filters. So, I mean, recorded is just as good.
I knew there was a reason you look so handsome today.
Multiple filters. So me and Josh, I was just talking to Josh. We've had him on the second appearance on the live stream, which is fun. This marks our second year of doing the Crown Council live stream. So it's good to have you back. Grateful to connect with you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Busy week. Do you want to tell everybody where you're going to be this week?
Yeah. I head out to Chicago midwinter tomorrow, so I'll be in the Windy City for the next 3 or 4 days. About freeze my butt off, but
Cool.
Yeah.
A lot of resource partners that are going to be there. So, and Steve will be there. Steve Anderson will be there. So hopefully some Crown.
Yeah.
Some
Stop
Crown
by
Coun-
his class too. Check him out.
Nice. Check him out. So hopefully there'll be some good Crown Council member interaction at that meeting. Very cool. All right. Well, Josh is joining us from Addit. And if you don't know, we're going to share just a few things today about Addit, but more specifically, whenever anybody comes on as a resource partner to the live stream, we want it to be educational so you can learn something. Josh meets with a lot of practices and sees the industry different from Crown Council members. So when you join us here, I want you to learn something and you gain some trust in what Josh does and what his company does. And I'm going to just navigate real quick before we get started to the Crown Council website. So this is the Crown Council website, and every time we have a resource partner on, we post that video here to remind you or to connect better with who they are. This is a live stream video from last time we met, and some information about Addit, and obviously the best way to connect with them. And we'll talk about this link and navigate there towards the end. But just as an introduction, Josh, would you explain in your elevator speech what Addit does?
Yeah. So Addit is a one-stop shop, an all-in-one solution to bring a practice all of the things that they're going to need to use on a daily basis. That's going to include things like an integrated VoIP phone system to where you're integrated with your Open Dental, your Dentrix accounts. That's going to include all of your analytics, your morning huddle, all of your dashboards, any of your texting, communications, patient forms, online scheduling, bringing all of those different things into one centralized location and doing it for, a much less inexpensive price. I think a good way to kind of position it, I actually had a call this morning with a doctor that's got 10 locations, and it was kind of a perfect example for that question. So he called me. He's using 5 different companies to do what we were able to do. So he's got one company that is doing his phone system and does texting, but only for the new patients. So phones and texting for new patients.
Okay.
He then got another patient communication software that only texts established patients and does their automations.
Okay.
So patient reminders, recall. He then pays a third company that does his digital patient forms. He's got a company that does his practice analytics, and then he's got another company that does his online scheduling. So he's spending a total of $1,400 a month per location across 10 locations.
No way.
We're able to consolidate all of those factors in just our one software, and it's saving him about $1,000 a month per location.
Wow.
So he's set to save about $10,000 a month on his bottom line by switching over. So
that's it. We're done. Great having you on, Josh. All right, that's a wrap.
Yeah.
Dude, not to mention the time associated with interacting with each of those businesses is what a nightmare.
Yeah.
So maybe I want to hear history, but I also want to hear, before we do that, probably what is on everybody else's mind, besides what you just said, any other key differentiations between you and solutions that are out there right now in the market to choose from?
Like I said, it's bringing it all into one place is probably the biggest thing. Consolidation and savings is probably the biggest factor that plays in for a lot of our clients. But number two, a lot of people love that we're still self-funded after 10 years in business. We've never taken on private equity funding. We don't have anyone to answer to a board of directors. You'll never see us having raised prices. I know a lot of companies, at least in the past 6 months, have all had to raise their prices by 20, 25%. Never raise our prices. And we also don't have to risk our level of support when it comes to scaling, right? So we've been able to keep our prices inexpensive, but we've also been able to keep a high level of support. We've got something that we call a 5-minute guarantee, basically guaranteeing if you call into our support team, you'll be answered by a live person in less than 5 minutes, or we'll actually give you a free month of service. It's another big complaint we get from people moving from, bigger companies is, hey, man, I've been trying to get in touch with my rep for 2 weeks now, and I just can't get in touch with someone, or I'm sitting on hold for 2 hours. So it's something that we make a major point is obviously provide an innovative software, give people all the things that they need, but not turn our back on the training, the onboarding, the support side of the business that I think a lot of people get, overlooked on when they first start looking at solutions like this.
Yeah. And I love when it comes to a resource partner, that's like top of our list is, are you accessible? Is the Crown Council member, when they call, going to get someone to speak to you? So very good. Maybe can you give us some backstory? Where you guys started, because I love the last 10 years. Like, could you play that out for us, how it's happened and how you guys have stayed where you are, not taking on private equity? Could you tell the story of Addit?
Yeah, it's actually a really interesting story. And it's funny. So I was at the annual meeting, of course, this year, and I was listening to Steve speak. And he was presenting on the different Texas companies and companies that have been open for over 100 years or more. And what did all these companies have in common? And the common thread was that they're not doing what they were originally created to do. And one of his examples was Bluebell, and how they originally were Bluebell ice cream, how they originally were created to make butter and resell it from unused milk from farmers. And then when the butter didn't sell, they moved to ice cream, and then the story tells itself. So Addit's kind of a similar story. When we started the business 10 years ago, we started in Houston, Texas, and we started as a digital marketing firm. So our founder, his brother-in-law was a dentist, needed some help with a website. So we built a website for him. We did his digital marketing, and that's really how the business started. So the first 5 years in business, that was all we did, was digital marketing. Grew to, maybe 500 so practices that were working with us. And we found a major gap in what we were doing, because we could see how many new patients were booking appointments and where these new patients were coming from the office. The problem was we had practices that theoretically were doing really well as far as new patients were concerned, but they were still failing. And we couldn't bridge that gap because we couldn't see, all right, we know if they booked, but did this patient actually show up? When this patient showed up, did they accept treatment? Did we get them reappointed? What is the production we're getting on that first visit in the first year? What's the lifetime value of that patient? All of these questions, right? So we knew that we had to build something to bridge that gap. So we started building integrations into different practice management software so we could not only see, all right, the patient, booked, but they showed up. And this is what happened after the patient showed up. And these are real live numbers from the practice. So as we get more and more data, starts to reveal more and more issues that dentists are having, or more and more problems they're having that needed to be solved. And so we slowly started building different pieces of technology to address each individual dentist problem. Nice. And it would be things as simple as, hey, I'm getting 1,000 unique visitors to my website every month, but I can't book new patients. Is there any way you could put my schedule online and let them book themselves? And, online scheduling's born. And then once people start scheduling, it's, hey, I'm getting a ton of people scheduling, but my no-show rate has now gone through the roof. Is there any way we can automate reminders and, confirmations to these patients? So we go build it. The phone system follows. So fast forward 2020, we built this entire suite of services, but at the time, again, it was all built to enhance what we were doing on the marketing side of the business. So 2020 happens, COVID hits. All of these practices have to close down for a couple months. So we get a ton of calls from our clients saying, hey guys, we need to shut off our marketing, but we can't actually run our business without the technology. And at the time, we didn't even have a package. It was all one package. So we said, hey, you know what? why don't we break this technology piece out? You can pay separately for this. Just pay us $350 a month for this, and we'll turn off everything else. Within that 12-month span, saw a complete 180 in our business model. 95% of the clients calling us were calling us to get the software, right? And we had kind of unknowingly to us, because it was never our goal to create an all-in-one software, right? We were just trying to help our dentists. And so we had unknowingly created this all-in-one platform where we truly were the first ones to bring the phones, the analytics, and all the communication all into one spot. But because we already had the infrastructure of being in business for 10 years, we were able to very easily transition into building and being a software company without having to sacrifice the price, the support that we mentioned earlier. So now, 4 years later, we've really taken what we built and just put it on steroids and tried to make it the strongest platform as possible without losing any of the values that we started with. And so that's kind of how it came to be at this point.
Very cool. And I know that, having you at the annual event now, I think for a couple of years, and connecting with you, we had a call last week, and just having you on the live stream. One of my favorite things about who you are is the real personal touch that I actually believe you, right? I believe at it that you do care. You do want to find the solutions. You do want to be a resource to Crown Council members and all dentists in creating what you have created. It's a really fun part about how we interact and the partnership that we have between you and Crown Council. Can you talk just my last question, as you have worked with different administrators in the practices, how does Addit enhance the patient's experience? So when a patient interacts with a practice, how is this? We know it's great for a dental practice. How is this better for a patient?
We really just aim to make things as easy as possible. And, I'm a millennial, so I don't like to call people, strangely enough. I won't order a pizza on the phone. I don't schedule anything on the phone. I use texting, and I, go online to book my reservations and so on and so forth. So we kind of take that approach, and we try to make it as easy as possible for a dental office too. I think one of the easiest ways to talk about this for both sides, just to give you a live example, is something like unscheduled treatment, right? You go in, you see your dentist, they say, hey, you know what, you need this. It's, you know what, let me think about it. Let me go home, check the finances, talk to my wife, and then you never end up scheduling it, for whatever reason, people get busy. Yeah. So from an office's perspective, you're thinking, okay, how can I, as easily as possible, get this patient back in the chair and get this treatment accepted, this treatment completed, right? So from the Addit side, being able to create custom lists of patients very easily and say, hey, I need to see a list of patients from the last 60 days that have unscheduled treatment for, this type of case. Let's just say a crown, right? Or whatever the case may be. And then very easily be able to send a mass text to that list of patients with the scheduling link, right? Nice. Once that comes to me, so now me as a patient, right, I'm getting this text saying, hey, Josh, we noticed that you never scheduled to get your crown placed, right? Here's a link to our schedule. This is our availability for crowns. Go ahead and pick whatever works best for you, right? So I'm able to then get the text on my phone. I pull up the schedule. It's all mobile friendly on my phone. I go pick which time works for me. I go schedule it, and I never have to actually speak to someone on the other end, right? So that appointment then integrates all the way through, populates in the practice's patient management software, and then has the ability to set off its own little string of automations, right? So back to what we were talking about earlier, once that appointment gets booked, we can then automate a confirmation. So the next text I get is, hey, Josh, saw you just booked your appointment. We're excited to see you next Wednesday at 9 a.m. Awesome, right? Maybe you need me to fill out an updated health history form before I come in. Maybe you include that in the automation. So now it's, hey, we know your appointment's next Wednesday at 9. Please make sure that you update your health history before you come in. And then 2 days before the appointment, hey, Josh, don't forget, we're going to see you on Wednesday. All of that's kind of streamlined, and even going as far as something like paying your bill at that point too. Right. If, they run your insurance, at least my dentist will say, hey, you know what, no need to pay right now. You don't have a copay. We'll run this to your insurance. We'll let you know what you owe. Right. I get another text that says, "Hey Josh, you owe $25. Here's a link to pay." And I can literally do it on my phone. And I don't know about you guys, but like Apple Pay and all these things that are already like my card's already on my phone.
Already linked,
I very easily just click it. I don't have to pull out my wallet. I'm just, oh, Apple Pay, great. Card's uploaded, bill gets paid. Right. And I don't have to deal with any of the nonsense. So I know that's a really long-winded example, but I wanted to paint a real picture from a patient's perspective and from an office's perspective of how easy that becomes versus the other option, which again, in the unscheduled treatment, the same example is, all right, I'm going to go into my software. I'm going to print out a sheet that's 60 people long. I'm going to hand it to my front desk. I'm going to say, call these people.
Start calling them. Yeah.
Right. And I keep my phone, you know this, you've called me. I keep my cell phone on do not disturb all day long while I'm working. So what happens? Goes straight to voicemail. Office leaves a voicemail, call us back, right? I don't call them for 3 days. You start to play this game with them. Whereas if I'm just getting a text message, it's so much easier for me to do all of these things that, I just don't have to mess with it. So
yeah, I love that. Yeah. Streamline, less friction. So good. Very good. Okay. I'm going to take you, Josh has actually built a landing page website. So here on the Add It page, we can click here, and I'll share this with the video, to schedule or connect with, book a demo. This is where we've got this neat little co-branded landing page for everybody to get started. Is this the best place to get started, Josh?
Yeah, super easy. So anyone that's interested in just taking a look, obviously there's no obligation. We can just take a look at the systems you have in place, or if you don't have these systems in place and you're looking to automate and make some things easier in the practice, just reach out and we'll treat you well. Roll out the red carpet for you.
And 50% off activation fees for all Crown Council members.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Very good. All right. Hey, well, I can send you a scarf or a puffy coat if you need it for Chicago.
I'm going to pack about 6 pairs of gloves and scarves. We'll do our best to stay warm.
Yeah, right. You're not even going to leave the hotel.
They do have that. If you've ever been to Chicago midwinter, they've got the hotel next door with the bridge connected. So I try to stay inside as much as I can.
All right. Okay. Good luck. Hey, thank you. Appreciate you.
Thanks, dude. Thanks for having me.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. How about that?
Sweet. I didn't see the landing page.
I know. I must have got downloaded the wrong video. Should we go there?
If you've got it, I think it'd be great.
Okay. All right. I'm going to share my screen. Once again, easy, crowncouncil.com. You'll log in and go to my directory. And inside everyone's directory is a link to all of our resource partners right here. Greg, while I'm navigating there was some chatter this morning on the Crown Council email network about how resource partners interact with us. Can you explain what a resource partner is and why we have them?
Resource partners at the Crown Council are members of our group. They pay a membership fee, just like members, the rest of the members. And we, as a group, get our resource partners from the membership who contact us and say, hey, I've had great success with this company, and I think the rest of the membership could benefit. That's where most of them come from. That's where Add It came from.
Yeah.
And we check them out. We do our best to vet them, and then give them an opportunity to present their services and hopefully at the best pricing available to the rest of the Crown Council membership.
Yeah.
One of the things that we require of our Crown Council resource partners is that they designate someone in their company to be a contact person. I don't think there is anything more frustrating, as Josh was saying, like calling 1-800 whatever, and then getting the recording that says, dial 1 for customer service, 2 for sales, 3 if you want to be offended, 4, where each of our resource partners has given us a person who has a cell phone number and an email address that we can contact directly so that we get the kind of service that we're used to giving.
Very good.
I also agree with him, by the way. Now I am not a millennial, but we have a vendor, one vendor at the Crown Council that we use, who insists on mailing us an invoice. And their only method to receive payment is if I write them a check. And I think they are the only company that we write a check to. I'll tell you what I think when I receive that is that they are not very progressive, that they're not up with what's going on. And so there's a lot of messages, a lot of hidden messages in there as well. So good job for Addit. They are a terrific resource partner. Glad to have them.
Yeah, and if I can add, listen, if a resource partner isn't doing a job, if they're not serving the purpose of the Crown Council, if they are providing poor customer service, we don't keep them on in hopes of gaining some sort of financial reward. The resource partners in the Crown Council are for you as a resource, as a member of the Crown Council. We we spend a considerable amount of time making sure that they are an incredible resource for you. And if that is not happening, I mean, we're the front lines of your defense to make sure that they're taking care of the membership of the Crown Council. So
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it's from a business model perspective, the resource partner is here. If it's not adding to the membership of the Crown Council, we'll do away with them. That we want to add a strong benefit of belonging to the Crown Council by having resource partners. It's not a financial opportunity for us. It's an opportunity to make the membership of the Crown Council better.
There are many of our resource partners who have been with us for 20 years.
Yeah.
Long time. So
very good.
We appreciate them, and they're a valuable part.
They're a huge part
of what we do. And we hope, well, here's an example.
Okay.
If we have time, Brent Pannell. Right now, today, there is a national cyber attack going on. And Brent from Control Alt Protect sent a message out that said, hey, everybody, there is some kind of national cyber attack going on that's affecting the cellular networks all over the country. Even if you are not our client, please be careful today.
Very good.
Is Steve hanging on?
He's not. He might be on stage. He might be held up. It's okay.
He claims he's on there ready to get in.
Oh, he just got in.
Yeah, nice. He claims he's on there. He sent me a text and told me to wake up.
Okay. Hey, we are ready. DJ's got him. And whenever we're ready for Steve, let's bring him in. Let's bring him in live from Chicago. So he's at the Midwinter meeting. I'm excited to see what he's. Hey.
What's up, Stu? How are you?
We are good. How are you?
Good. Live from Chicago.
That's fun. So, that's awesome.
We just got done with our first session at the Chicago Midwinter Dental Meeting, and I am here with super Crown Council dentist, Dr. Steven Spitz.
Nice.
And Lori is recording, and Susan Pruitt.
Susan.
So we just had a packed house at our session, doing another one this afternoon. So we did a whole session on cancellations this morning. We're doing insurance objections this afternoon.
Nice.
And now, for those of you that know Steve Spitz, Steve is from Boston, but he's in Chicago.
I'm in Chicago.
Yes, he is. And one of the reasons he's in Chicago is Steve is going to be the president of the Massachusetts Dental Society next year, right?
So one more year.
One more year.
A year and a half.
Yes, he is. So he is ascending to the throne of one of the most, I'm going to say one of the most active, proactive dental societies in the country. I did a Mentor of the Month with Andrew Tonelli, who's in your dental society. Andrew was a 10 under 10, 10 dentists under 10 years old, or not 10 years old, but 10 years out of school. 10-year-old dentist. But he was, so tell everybody what Dr. Tonelli did as part of your initiative, because he was kind of the face of the initiative.
Yeah, so you may have heard of our DLR program that we were working very hard to make dental insurance a little more, make them accountable to somebody, right? So they have never been accountable to anyone, so their fees have always been whatever they want them to be. So we wrote a ballot question, since it was a little more challenging to go through the legislature through the normal channels. And we had a remarkable 72% of our Massachusetts residents said, yes, we want some type of regulation, and we want these insurance companies to be accountable for what they're spending and how they're spending it. So once that ballot initiative was presented and done, actually Mo Riscala is the author of that, and but we needed organized industry to be involved, and Anthony was our face from Massachusetts Dental Society to help along with that ballot question, and we won big, and
72% win,
and it was
huge
incredible. So now we're just waiting for that law to come out, but it should make a big difference in the way dentistry and the way insurance companies deal with us and deal with our patients, which is really what we did it for. We want to see our patients get the reimbursement that they deserve. And so, yeah, stay tuned. Hopefully those laws will be coming out soon. So
that's it.
Very cool.
Very cool. Anyway, we had a great morning here. It was fun to see a Bostonian in Chicago. And we're going to be on this afternoon. All right, so Stu, I'll give you the number one most popular stop cancellations hack from our session.
Okay, great.
This is everybody's bonus for listening. All right. Okay. So of all the things, we go through like dozens of different suggestions on how to build and maintain a predictable, consistent schedule. And the most popular tip is the doctor calls all the new patients the day before they come in to welcome them to the practice. You've been doing that for years.
I've done it for many
long
years.
Time. It works. So it's not a confirmation call. It's not a reminder call. It is a welcome call. We have a bunch of practices now that do it by video. So they'll send a video by text message. So they get a text message, click on the video. It's a personalized video, whether it's call or video, whatever it is. But it is an almost a 100% new patient show rate guarantee when the doctor calls and welcomes new patients to the practice. So that's your most popular action item of dozens that we went through this morning.
I love it.
And we're going to do insurance objections this afternoon. So we got a packed house. That was fun.
Man, wish we were there.
Yeah, right here. It's actually awesome weather in Chicago too.
Nice.
Which you don't say very often in February.
No.
Not in Chicago or Boston.
It's very unusual.
But this year it's like in the 50s. It's gorgeous outside.
I think it's warmer here than it is in Boston.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. So not warmer than Texas, but it's good enough. We'll take it. So
very cool.
Anyway, thanks for letting us join, Stu. And,
yeah, no, so fun to have you guys.
Here, Andy. I got another one too. Here's Andy Ramsey. We're on Crown Council Live.
You can just stand out in the hallway. This
Andy Ramsey from Georgia, and Andy's here spying. So he's fine. He is scouting. He's a scout for the Hinman meeting. So
nice.
Going around trolling.
Copy genius. Copy genius.
You got it. That's it. That's right. All right. Thanks, Stu.
Okay, guys. Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
That's fun. Way to go. All right, it worked. Hotel Wi-Fi, you always got to be ready for whatever's going to happen there.
I have a favorite Steve Spitz story.
Oh, great. Let's hear it.
One day he called me up, said he had an almost new dental chair and was making some change. I forget what caused it, but wanted to know if we could use it in the Dominican. And I knew of a place in the Dominican to put that at a clinic. So we got Henry Schein to go over and box it up. We shipped it down to Florida.
Nice.
Shipped it over to the Dominican, and it is still in use. Very cool. Generous contribution. Terrific guy.
I love that.
Just a great guy.
Hey, so we've got about 20 minutes. I've got an interview recorded with Tyson Peterson, like most of our Crown Council docs. Hard for them to watch Crown Council live or participate in an interview. So I interviewed Tyson. Greg, the membership of Crown Council is kind of coming full circle. 30 years of members who joined when they were in their 40s are now retiring and moving on, passing their practices to young docs. And Tyson is one of those young docs. He was in our Young Dentist program a few years ago, and he's this new, exciting young doc who is just jumping in with both feet into Crown Council as part of a mastermind group, attending the annual event. And wait till you hear his annual event story. It is so fun because he was just with us a couple weeks ago. So I'm going to play this and then we'll wrap up the show. Sound good? Okay. So we're with Tyson Peterson. Tyson, it is early Wednesday morning, so we're a day before the live stream recording because you obviously got a busy day ahead. Can you introduce where you're going to go to work and what your practice is like so everybody kind of gets to know you here and what you do?
Yeah, you bet.
Okay.
So I am in Logan, Utah. We're up close to the Idaho border, up in the mountains. We're off to work. I've got a 4-op single doc practice. And so we'll be busy today, bouncing back and forth between those 4 rooms, but that's what we're up to today.
Nice. Can you tell everybody a little bit about where your journey started in dentistry, how you got into it, what inspired you to be a dentist? Why did you choose this profession? Was there a mentor or early goal as a kid, or I don't know, what kind of moved you into this profession?
Yeah. So as I was a little kid, I was a cavity kid growing up. I was the kid who would leave my dental checkup with 5, 6, 7 cavities. So I spent my fair amount of time hanging out at the dentist office.
Okay.
The dentist that I had, for whatever reason, he just intrigued my interest. He was always happy at work. He would sing to us while he was getting us numb.
What?
And I get to see him. He's still working, and so I get to see him at our state's dental conference most years. And I think he was the first guy to really, I saw him and I was like, he seems like he likes his job. And so I think from a young age, I was intrigued by dentistry. As I got older, went through college, I didn't know if that's what I wanted to do, but I kind of was headed down that road. And so as I got into school, that's what stuck with it, kept going. I did have, as I started shadowing, I had a lot of dentists who I shadowed who had good things to say about dentistry. And so I think those are probably some of the biggest things that kind of got me on track to being involved in it. That first dentist I had as a kid, I think was kind of what helped push me into that category, and it's been on my mind, had been on my mind since I was a kid. So
very cool. And what was school like for you? Was it where'd you go and what was it like?
So my undergrad, I did at Utah State here in Logan. When we left Logan for dental school, I didn't think I'd ever be back, but we love it here. We're up in the mountains, there's skiing, there's playing in water in the summer to go swim in, so we like that. But so I went to Utah State, and then I did dental school at Baylor, Texas A&M in Dallas.
Okay.
And from there, I did a 1-year residency at Idaho State in Pocatello. And after that, I came to Logan to work as an associate. And so I worked for 2.5 years as an associate. And then, sorry, I felt like I was going to sneeze.
Good.
As an associate, we always had the mentality that we wanted to be kind of an owner of a private single doc practice. So we had been looking, and the office that I ended up buying was probably about 2-3 miles away from my associate office here in Logan. So that gentleman was retiring, and we jumped on the opportunity, and we've been cruising for 4 years now.
Nice.
Maybe I'd say maybe not cruising, maybe we've been climbing for 4 years now.
This is a huge question. I want to kind of talk about this. So, I mean, a lot of docs that we talk to now as they're in dental school and exiting dental school, it is a tough thing to decide, okay, what am I doing next? Am I joining as an associate? Am I joining a DSO? Am I going to try to buy a practice? What did you learn from that decision? Would you do it different? Were you glad the way that you were an associate first and you bought a practice? I know this is a lot of questions, but maybe explain the whole process of, this was a great way that I did it. I'm glad I did it this way. Or if I did it again, I'd maybe do something different, starting where you started after dental school.
Yeah, that's what I would say. My wife teases me because she's like I'm a baby stepper type of ease into it type of person.
Me too.
And so for me, because that's what I had the same question, and there's days, as a single doc office, there's some days where it's like, man, it'd be nice to just jump into work and leave all the ownership worries and staff, team, all the things that are involved in taking care of your team and the office, take all those off the plate, and that takes a lot of work and a lot of stress off your shoulders. But I think at the end of the day, for me, even I had some kids coming out of dental school, some of my buddies from school got out of loan, bought an office, and they were ready to crank away. And I think that was more their personality of they're ready to jump right in. And I was start in the shallow end and slowly walk into the deep end. Mm-hmm. So having the mentorship from my boss as an associate, I think was pretty big for me as far as helping me get comfortable going from school setting to real life setting. So for me, I would do that again. From associate to being an owner, lots of learning that goes on, like lots of learning that you don't ever anticipate there. But I also think in that same respect, lots of wisdom of why we do things the way we do things, I guess. So deeper understanding of how things have to go in order to make your business successful, mm-hmm. and the important things that help your team to be successful. So, I mean, if I had to rewind and do it all over again, with the wisdom I have now, I'd probably jump into owning sooner. Mm-hmm. But the way my learning process goes, mm-hmm. one step at a time, slowly get into it.
Nice. When you talk about what you do to take care of your team, maybe share 2 or 3 things that you feel that you've learned over the last 3 or 4 years as a business owner that have kind of come slowly, that you're like, okay, this is essential for making sure that this practice and my team run smoothly. A system or a philosophy that you've learned or gained over time.
Let's see. For my team, I think, and what my team, I think, feels as well, is there's always somewhere to grow in. That growth mindset of we're in a phase where technology is changing, where insurance is always changing, where clinical skills and materials are always changing. And so as a team, we feel like making that effort to grow when there's room to grow. Steve talked about it at the annual event, that adaptability, as far as keeping a brand current, keeping it up to date with where the world is at is what keeps a business viable, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And so I think that mindset of how can we improve, how can we do better, even on systems that we look at and we say, hey, this is probably working fine, but when we see opportunities to make it better, to make it more patient friendly, more streamlined, an aspect of growth.
Nice. I was with the company Addit yesterday, and they were talking about you. They really were. It was funny. And then I said, well, I'm talking to Tyson tomorrow, and they Addit is one of our resource partners, and they talked about what a great client you are, a great leader you are in their system, and they're just like, we need more Crown Council docs like Tyson. I was like, is this planned? I'm like, I'm literally talking to him tomorrow about his office. So that was cool. That was cool to hear, especially with what a progressive brand they are and what they use. So anyway, hey,
Yeah.
how did we meet each other? How did you get in? So we did a Young Dentist program together. Can you talk about that? I don't remember how you were introduced to Crown Council.
Yeah, you bet. So I was the first time I ever heard of the Crown Council. So I had a classmate I went to undergrad with who was also in dental school, and he called me one day and he says, hey, there's the Crown Council event going on in Fort Worth, and he says, and I got a spot for you if you want to go. And I was a fourth year in dental school, and I was kind of like, I don't know, do they let me out of school to go to this kind of stuff? Like, how's this work? So anyways, I got permission to go, and I went, and it was, here I am, a naive fourth year dental student as far as like what actually goes on in the world of dentistry apart from school. And I'm sitting with all these docs, and I'm like, it was a very eye-opening experience to me as far as like, these guys are here doing more than just like clinical training. They're here to make their teams, their offices be successful and stand apart from the other offices.
Yeah.
And so as I finished school, got through, in my residency and my internship, I kept tabs with the Crown Council. I got the monthly emails, and it's just a community that is set on going the extra mile and on being above and beyond what I think people would expect from a dentist office.
Yeah.
And I think that is, it rings to me. It's it gives us a mindset of what we need, what we can be, rather than just letting the chaos of what it could be kind of run the office. So that's how I first was connected to the Crown Council. And as a young doc, I wasn't sure like how I was going to integrate everything into the office, as far as the Crown Council, TOPS, all those things. And this last year at the annual event, so this is our second annual event with our team. It was close by in Salt Lake last year, but this most recent one, as a practice owner, putting your team on an airplane and taking them off to an awesome conference like that is, for me, I would say it was kind of like a dream come true for me, as far as like, we're being successful, we're able to provide opportunities for growth and learning for the team. that's not only office learning, but high quality of living life learning. And I think me as a boss, that's fun for me to be able to say, hey, we did this as a team. We worked for this and we've been able to achieve it.
Dude, I love hearing that. That's fun. That's nice since, planning the annual event is a huge part of my life. So that's cool to hear. Thanks.
Yeah.
So you guys came home from the annual event. Now, did anything stick? How did you guys apply anything you learned?
Yeah. Well, we've got a gratitude jar started at the office.
Nice.
We've been talking a lot about as far as finding happiness. We had staff meeting last week and we talked about, trials for Amy Purdy and difficult discussions or conversations from Emily Gregory, and that development of us as a team of kind of recognizing, hey, like, yeah, this is hard, but how do we make it work? How do we make it okay? Finding the mental space to start our day with some gratitude, kind of put us in that vision of, yeah, we're going to be busy and crazy until lunchtime, but how do we find some happiness in what we're doing? And anyways, it's just, I think there's lots of ways to live your life, and that's what putting yourself in a positive mental space to be successful and be happy regardless of what's going on. It makes your team successful and it makes the office successful, and that makes the patients feel like $1 million. So
nice. Tyson got on stage at the annual event, recognized as one of our mastermind moderators. So inside the Crown Council, hopefully everybody knows there's mastermind groups that we try to put together, dentists from around the country that share their very best practices with each other, keep each other accountable, learn from each other. And Tyson moderates one of those groups. Tyson, could you talk about that group, what you've learned, how it's going as a moderator, ups and downs, challenges, things that are good, things that have come up, maybe not from you, but from other practices, or just anything about that mastermind opportunity that you're doing that you've learned from, or you could share.
Yeah. So we've got a group of docs who are, most all of them are kind of in somewhat similar situations as myself, practice owners or partners or soon to be partners or soon to be owners. And it's an awesome group. We learn from one another. I feel like I glean and pick up lots of little gems from all the other docs in our group. It's awesome to have a group of guys where you can kind of throw out whatever questions you have. Hey, what do you guys do for this? Hey, are you having a hard time with this? Or and so when we first started the mastermind group, I wasn't quite sure what to expect as far as what we glean from it. I feel like I'm learning the more each of us puts into it, I feel like the more we pull out from it. And so, and it's small enough that we can ask those questions of, hey, I'm having a hard time with whatever subject it may be at the office, business related, team related, patient related. And so that collective wisdom from the other docs in our mastermind it's awesome. So
very cool. What have you learned being the moderator? Are you glad you've been doing it, or is it does it add another challenge in your own personal life? I mean, is that something you'll stick with as the leader, or I mean, how is that?
You know what? It does get busy. I mean, as far as I feel like as the moderator, there's some responsibility for like making sure content's working, making sure the topics that we're talking about are relevant to the other docs in the group. And I've offered the leader spot to the other guys in my group, but they all smile and say, "No, you're good."
You're doing great. Nice, I love
So it's been good though. I think we're still kind of young. We've been going just maybe about a year now, just over a year. So I feel like we're kind of, I guess I feel like I'm kind of figuring out, okay, what's going to be beneficial to us. Which we like having those topics to talk about and learn about. All of us take turns presenting on something from our office. We've had some of the Crown Council resource partners present. And so there's learning that goes on, but I think and that's, I guess, the guys that have to voice their opinion, the other docs from the group. But I think one of my most favorite times is just being able to throw whatever we have questions on and just kind of get feedback from what everyone else is doing. So hearing their thoughts on those things is a nice feedback tool.
Very cool. Nice. All right, Tyson, as we kind of come in for landing here, as we wrap up, if you were to share with a room full of dental students just starting year one, what advice are you giving young docs who are just starting a career in dentistry?
Ooh, I would say, finding opportunities to balance everything. I by no means would say I'm a prime example of that. I feel like I have weeks where I'm way out of balance with amount of time that I put into either office work, fixing stuff, or other stuff going on. But I think it's easy to get wrapped up in work, which that's it. We got to work, but I think that there's still opportunities to find those moments of relaxation, getting away from the office, finding time to play. When I got into dentistry, one of the big things that drew me in was the patient connection, being able to have that group of patients that comes back and that you get to see every 6 months. One of the things that I've discovered in myself since I bought my practice is I'm totally happy to just be the general dentist. I feel like I've got a skill set there that I don't have to do everything, I guess, as far as the types of dental work out there. And I feel like when I bring in other docs, other specialists, as far as helping with treatment, it takes stress off of me and it makes better outcomes for whatever we're taking care of. And so that pressure to be the best in everything, you want to be the best at what you do, right? But you don't have to be the best at everything.
Right. I love it. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, Tyson, I am in the Crown Council, there is such a gigantic space of our oldest doctors who've been with us for 30 years and young dentist doctors who are entering the Crown Council, and to see your enthusiasm and your leadership. And man, I want to see a video of you singing to your patients as they're going under. I got to see it. Send me that video. Send me that video today when your patients are going under. You're doing it. Are you doing it? What are you singing to these people?
You know what? I've thought of that often. I don't currently sing to all of them, but the song that my dentist would sing to me while he was getting me done was "Nobody Likes Me, Everybody Hates Me. I Guess I'll Go Eat Worms."
Don't sing that.
Well, I laugh because as a kid I thought it was hilarious, and as I look at it as a dentist now, it's like, oh, that's kind of a
That's
depressing one to sing.
We gotta think of a
So,
new one.
yeah. I'll work on that for next time I see you.
Okay.
So,
But dude, thank you so much for your example, for leading that mastermind group. And I mean, my takeaway from being with you today is how special it is to hear that experience you guys had at the annual event. Like that means a lot to me and to the team here. And I'm just grateful for you, and you know, being able to be together at the Young Dentist program was awesome, and just looking forward to having you as part of Crown Council. So thank you.
you're welcome. I'm happy to be here. That's I'm at the point now where practicing without you guys would kind of be blah.
Blah, no blah. Go eat worms. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Hey, well, have a great day. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you. Same to you.
Hey, man, have a good one. Thanks.
Take care. We'll see.
All right, we went over. I know we're over 6 minutes. I'm sorry if you're still with us, but what a great guy. So that's
You
it.
know, indicative though of the membership
Yeah,
and thoughts well said about the value of community.
I agree. Really cool.
Right, Stu?
Hey, great. Very good. We'll be back next week. And if you want to mark calendars, if you're still watching, March 14th is going to be a really fun Valentine's Day webinar that Steve is going to host. Let me get you the title. Lucky Case Acceptance, 13 Ways to Improve Your Chances for
Wait, not Valentine's Day,
yes.
St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, St. Patrick's Day. What did I say? Valentine's Day?
Good
No,
Valentine's. Yep.
St. Patrick's Day. Yeah. So Lucky Case Acceptance, 13 ways to improve your chances for a yes. So we'll do that March 14th. Should be fun.
Very fun.
All right, everybody. Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you next week.